Hello, this is the September update of the climate outlook for the grain growing region of Western Australia. This outlook will focus on how upcoming rainfall, temperature and winds may impact fertiliser and pesticide application decisions. The key messages for WA, and for those looking to apply fertiliser, we're on the lookout for more than 5mm of rainfall. There will be fairly limited opportunities for this in the next 10 days, and even looking out to October, we're expecting to see below average rainfall. For those looking to spray pesticides, we're on the lookout for no frost, dry conditions and little wind. We will see some cooler mornings into the weekend and possibly wind picking up as well, but frost is still a possibility even into September. And for northern areas which are looking to be close to finishing up their fertiliser and pesticide programs, frost and heat will become important during the critical growth stage. On this slide, looking at the soil moisture conditions, and August was another abnormally dry month for most grain growing parts of WA, particularly west of a line from about Dalwallinu down towards Lake King. We saw just 15mm at Mingaloo, but in contrast, 60mm at Katanning. And this is reflected in current soil moisture levels, where we're seeing very much below average for most of the Kwinana West and Geraldton Port zones, but further south, average to even above average where the recent rain fell. Into September, we're expecting much of the same with below average soil moisture conditions persisting. But we may see a significant change further south, slipping into average to even slightly below average soil moisture conditions towards Albany and also Esperance. Next, looking at the 10-day cumulative rainfall totals to Wednesday, the 6th of September, comparing the EC model on the left and Access model on the right. Most of the showers will be for coastal areas and won't push too far north, and for those looking for more than 5mm, mostly looks to be confined to a line west of about Mingaloo to Narrogin to Albany, so not expecting too much further inland you go. The extended outlook for the first 2 weeks of September shows that we're unlikely to see above median rainfall, so it is looking like a dry outlook for the first 2 weeks of spring, as you can see here. Past accuracy is moderate to high based on past performance, and the Access model did a fairly good job in August with picking some of those dry zones. For the rest of September, we're still expecting to see average to below average rainfall for the west and southwest of the state. But further inland you go, you can see that we could see close to 50% chance of seeing average rainfall through interior parts. But of course, as you can see from the map on the right hand side, accuracy does decline further east you go, so you can't place too much confidence in the forecast for areas east of about Southern Cross and towards Kalgoorlie. For October, the first thing you notice is the poor accuracy on the right hand side based on past performance for most of WA, looking at less than 45% accuracy for places like Corrigin and Narrogin. With this in mind though, the Access model is still forecasting below average rainfall for most areas. What we can do is compare this to what other international models are saying. And this here is the average of the American, European, Japanese, and Canadian models for October. It is a slightly different scale, but these brown shades indicate the likelihood of seeing rainfall in the lowest tercile or third of historical observations. So it does give some confidence that we can look to the Access model for October with that dry outlook expected. Next, looking at those looking to spray pesticides, and we could see some colder mornings later this week into the weekend. Sunday, just towards kind of southern parts of grain growing areas, but extending north into Monday. And then by Tuesday, looks to be the coldest morning of the outlook, dipping below 3 degrees for some of those southern inland areas there. Looking at frost in the upcoming weeks, and these experimental maps can provide a bit of a guide as to what the chance of seeing at least one frost is. On the left-hand side, it's the week starting September 4th, and we can see more than 40% chance for some inland southern areas. And on the right-hand side is the fortnight starting the 4th of September, and we can see more than 70% chance. So we are looking at likely seeing still another frost or two for the first part of September. And looking for the rest of spring, this map shows the chance of exceeding above median minimum temperatures for WA. And it is showing that warm mornings are most likely across pretty much the entire state with good accuracy based on past performance. But this map doesn't mean that we won't still see frost events. Looking now at spring maximum temperatures, and again we are expecting to see above median maximum temperatures for most of Western Australia with good pass accuracy based on past performance. This map doesn't provide much context. What we can look at is the chance of seeing maximum temperatures in the top 20% of historical figures. And this map does show that there's at least 80% or 4 times more likely to see maximum temperatures in the top 20%. And we, of course, have already seen some very high maximums over the past weekend, with places like Cunderdin breaking their August maximum temperature record, and many centres already going up into the low to mid 30s, which is quite unusual for this time of year. Next, looking at the expected wind patterns in September, and this can give us a guide as to why we are seeing what we are seeing. This map shows the forecast sea level pressure differences from the monthly average. And the purple shades indicate that during September, high pressure systems to the south of WA are more likely. For WA, this means 2 things. First, high pressure acts as a block for those rain-bearing systems coming through from the west, and it's often these strong cold fronts which bring those damaging westerly wind bursts. Instead, under this sort of pattern, we do tend to see those rain-bearing systems from the west be blocked or weakened off as they approach the coast. And instead, we do see dry and warm easterly winds coming from the interior. So putting this together, it doesn't mean that we're not expected to see any rain in WA at all, but it does help to explain the previous maps which did show drier than typical conditions being expected. That's it for this climate outlook. We'd love to hear more from you, so scan the QR code on your screen now or visit the website, and this will take you to a short survey about the video and also where you can send through any other feedback. Thanks for watching.